Brooklyn Independent Television.
Joining me in the studio this week is Master David Herbert of World Martial Arts Center here in Brooklyn. And Dave is here to also discuss, should mixed martial arts be legalized here in the state of New York? And Dave, let's talk about yourself first.
Great. I've been involved in martial arts for almost 40 years, 39 years to be exact. I've been a fitness consultant, I've worked in gyms, but I've done all kinds of martial arts. You know, everything from taekwondo, jiu-jitsu, played judo, was on a boxing team, kickboxing team, did all that stuff. But presently I'm teaching Hapkido, and I teach traditional martial arts, and I'm a master in that system, and I teach that for a specific reason, because learning how to fight, you can fight anywhere. You know, we all grew up in tough areas. You know,
I can remember you in Curtis High School flying through the halls, flying kicks. You and Philip and Sylvester and Sterling Cox.
Right. So fighting is actually the easier part for all of us because we grew up in the fight. You know, but the biggest part for me was not learning how to fight, but later on, you know, one of my teachers explained to me about you need to learn how to live, because ultimately you're born and you die. And in between, you spend time. And what you focus on in your life is going to affect the time of your life and the quality of your life. And that kind of struck a bell because I've noticed that a lot of older guys, a little older than myself, ended up not doing too well. I've seen a lot of them that came back from Nam and some that were involved in boxing and other sports. And when they got back here, life hit them like a ton of bricks. And I realized, you know what, that may not be the path I want to, you know, be following. And then later on, I actually ended up breaking my foot in judo, in a judo competition. Actually, I won a judo competition just playing, and then I qualified for the nationals. And I said, wow, let me take this serious. And the day I took it serious, I broke my foot. And so I was out of commission for a long time, right, on crutches. And I came across a Hapkido master looking at his class. And I thought it was kind of odd because where I was training, everybody was buff and, you know, they were like titans. And this place had people that were built normal and some older people, and I decided to listen to him, what he has to say, because it seemed kind of weird that he had people that weren't as big as my guys, right, but they were older and they were all happy, you know, were healthy.
Real quick, becoming a master.
Yes.
How long did it take to become a master? How many years? And also, what is required to become a master in your system?
That is a good question and good direction in my system, because as we know, there's a lot of different styles, and unfortunately there aren't consistencies about becoming a master. Okay, in my particular system, to become a master,
which is your system?
Hapkido.
Hapkido.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. You have to dedicate yourself. You have to commit to your training from the get-go. You don't go and say, I want to try a month of this or try a month of that. Number one, you commit, right? And you commit to what's called a black belt program, which is a 3-year program. That in itself is kind of like a filter, because people who are not serious, not dedicated, or not sure of themselves aren't going to make that kind of commitment. After committing to the black belt program, you go on to instructor training. You have to commit to that, and then you have to be tested for each level of instructor training, right? And then after that, you also have to pass other tests and requirements. Now, this whole time you're being observed, but not just your physical technique, but also the development of your character, you know, the development of your life, where you've been, where you are, and what are your aspirations to where you're going. So it was much more than just punching, kicking, or breaking things. Okay.
Speaking of punching, kicking, and breaking things, mixed martial arts, your thoughts about that? As far as from what I gather, you are against it.
Okay. I don't want to say I am against it.
Against it being legalized here in New York State.
I like to say we need to have a little more clarification exactly what that is.
Okay.
Because I've gotten a lot of people come to my studios who want to teach, and they told me they are mixed martial artists. And I've asked them, well, what is your martial arts mixed with? And they tell me a little bit of jiu-jitsu and a little bit of kickboxing, a little bit of this. And I go like, okay, I got a little bit. What is your training in? Or what do you have a black belt in, or, you know? And I get a lot of rigmarole, right? And, you know, for me, that's difficult to kind of like listen to this stuff, because I have a 7 down in jiu-jitsu also, but I don't go claiming like I'm a mixed martial artist. I have a lot of ranking, a lot of martial arts. But my thing is, who is promoting it, and who are Who are the people teaching it?
Other question, should David Patterson legalize it here in New York State?
When you say legalize it,
Competition.
we got to be clear that number one is the competition, right? I have mixed feelings, okay? Most places, in most of the world, martial arts is just martial arts. But on the mastery level, we understand that, there's martial dance, there's martial exercise, there's martial sports, and there's martial arts, and they are not the same. So if we're talking about martial sports, number one, we need to know, well, who's going to govern this body? Because you're going to have kids going there, and also, what are they going to represent? Will they represent the stuff that Master Bill McLeod from USA Martial Arts called me? He was furious because one of the parents was really upset because the kid was watching something on TV about the red team and the blue team of mixed martial arts, and these were grown men. And one guy went to the other guy's refrigerator and peed in his sports drink. And I didn't see that. I couldn't believe it, but it was a big uproar about that.
Dave,
yes.
We're out of time.
Okay.
But we'll be back, all right?
Thank you.
I'll have you back later on in the show. Stay right here, all right? Thank you. All right, we'll be back with more right after this.
Brooklyn Independent Television on the BCAT TV network.